Nothing like waking up in the morning to a beautiful sunrise, smog in the air. Oh yeah, it's Rise of Industry. Welcome back for another episode. My name is Tobal. We have our industry is chugging along. Now, we are in debt. I do owe quite a bit of money to a few money lenders that are going to come looking to break my kneecaps at some point soon. Now, we've got a starter loan, which I don't actually know when that begins or when that kicks off. Is it maybe like 5 years or 10 years or something? There is no interest, which is nice, but we are not currently paying this money in terms of our loans. We are actually just paying the loan from the bankruptcy loan, which is just wonderful and fantastic. So we can't go broke again, or we're going to actually probably lose the game. A couple things that I'm noticing right off the bat here. We have a couple of alerts about storage capacity being full. I believe that's telling us that we need to get our butts in gear and probably put down another carpentry center, right? Because we are producing 2 planks every 20 days, so that's 4 planks every 20 days. Now, the city of Shepherdsville would like 7 per 15 days, so I think we can actually safely put down... We honestly could probably put down 2. Let's see, how much is the lumberyard spitting out here? We're putting out 3 every 10 days. And it takes 3 every 20 days. So eventually, this is going to wind up going in the negative once we put down, I think, another carpentry center or 2. Let's go ahead and put 1 down at least. We have the money for it. And we'll stick that right next to, if we're going to keep the pollution in one spot, we may as well for consistency's sake, right? Let's murder only a small grouping of trees when possible. So I'm going to add this new Carpentry Center 3 to our destination list. Factory 3, good game. Let's also go ahead and change the destination here to our lovely town of Shepherdsville. Booyaka, we are all set. So I'm also actually, since we have a massive stockpile here in Carpentry Center 1, going to select the storage of wood, choose my new factory, and watch as these trucks start spitting out a bunch of wood just across the street. They could just walk it over there, honestly. Come on, just get a cart, you guys. Honestly. So I'll go ahead and cancel that. That should have given them a few to get going. We also just finished chickens. Now, one thing I forgot about chickens. Chickens require something to eat. Little buggers. They don't, just magically make their own food, which is quite rude if you ask me. So we're going to need to research the wheat technology. We have the technology. Let's go ahead and put this before one-way roads. Honestly, let's put this right now because I don't really think that the coastal harvesters are... Well, I'm going to waffle here a bit. The coastal harvesters are kind of important because we wanted to put down 1 more sand collector to help balance the load if we put down another glassworks and or smelter, right? So I'm torn. Let's go ahead and do... I'm so torn, I'm like Natalie and Bruglia torn. Let's put down, let's go wheat first, and then I'll go back into the fancy pants field and harvesters here. We'll do coastal harvesters, which we have a little bit of technology research for, and then I'll go ahead and do 1-lane roads, although I don't really think we need this yet. I also think I want to do 3 more destination slots for... what does this do? This is 3 destination slots to warehouses. Now, we have not touched warehouses yet much. I'm thinking, though, look how much... We're kind of at an offset. We're producing more water every 10 days than we are... Or not more, we're producing the same amount, sorry, but there is a different demand. So we're using 2 sand per cycle of bricks. We're only using 1 of water per cycle. So we're going to always have a bit more water than we will sand unless we put down another collector. And really, we have to wait for that technology to get done. So that could be a thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fancy pants production overview, because I would like to see what's doing good and what kind of sucks. So last 12 months, we've, that's a bit harder. It kind of averaged out over time. The last month, we made a good amount of money off of coal. Now, coal long-term has been making us a crap ton of money, which is great. Also, gas has been doing fairly well. Now, it hasn't been doing as well as it was a few months ago, which is interesting. Also, oil is starting to be a negative, so it looks like the distribution cost of oil are starting to hurt us more than the actual delivery, which kind of sucks. Now, I don't think... Can I do something like hold shift to do a thing? Here we go. If I hold shift over it, it says hold shift for more info. I'm going to hold shift and see that it's used in plastic and refined oil. The problem is that I'm pretty sure Shepherdsville is so small it does not have any need for refined oil or plastics at this point. So we can't really do anything with the oil. I could just shut it down since it's currently just being a negative for us. The other thing to keep in mind is I've not really messed about with delivery trucks or warehouses yet. So I'm really curious is it cheaper? I don't think it would be cheaper to send stuff from a warehouse just because it's a warehouse. You'd still be paying the trucks a certain amount of money to deliver your goods all the way into town, right? Would it be beneficial to maybe cut a couple tiles off the road? Oh, that bugs me that I can't go directly across. Wait, are we broke? Why can't I build my road? There we go. I mean, we cut a little bit of tiles off with this route. Now, there are, sadly, no diagonal routes. I mean, I could make some crazy windy road here, but it's just going to be a little bit fugly. Oh, wait, what about tracks? Allows train tracks. Now, this would be probably a good spot to do a train delivery, but we've not set up any kind of train distribution at all. Now, I could start researching truck depots. Now, truck depots use larger trucks, and I think they carry more and they're slower. I just don't know the math yet, and I don't really want to take a risk. So I'll tell you what, because I'm observing the fact that we are losing oil, we're actually we're losing money from oil, I'm going to go ahead and completely shutter oil drill number 1 until we come up with a better solution, because there's no point in just sitting here extracting one of the resources that's getting, it's a finite resource. Let's wait until we can make the most of it. Now, gas is still doing pretty well. Are we oversaturating the town at all? It's still a pretty high demand. They want 11 per 15 days, and we're probably pumping out 4 every 10, right? Yeah, 4 every 10. So that might not be a thing we have to worry about yet, but maybe down the road. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and go back into Tier 1. So Tier 1, we are making, holy crap, seriously? We are making a 256% profit. The profit margin, rather, is 256% from wooden planks. And bricks aren't too bad, but boy, wooden planks are out of this world. So that is our biggest seller. What we could... Is there any way to maximize this yet even more? It's 3 per 20 days, right? So eventually the lumberyard is going to... It's 3 per 10 days. So it's going to, kind of deliver 1 to you, 1 to you, 1 to you. And even though they've got a pretty decent sized stockpile right now, eventually they're going to run out of wood. So I could add in yet another harvester here, and I think I might go ahead and do that. That way we've got a really good stockpile of wood, and I'll feel more comfortable if I add yet another carpentry center down. So let's go ahead and do that. Carpentry center, make go, please. What am I doing here? How did I lose it? There it is. Carpentry center, yes, we are going to add you into place. Thank you so much for being a carpentry center. Ooh, here, that's an interesting point. We don't have the amount of distribution destinations here available. We can only send to 3 locations directly from the resource. I'm pretty sure if we put a warehouse down, though, we'll still only have 3 to go. Let's try this. Let's try putting down... Oh, I didn't think that one through, did I, at all? If we put the warehouse here, that means that the vehicles are going to have to go all the way around. How do we want to do this without creating too much of a hot mess? There may not be any real way. Let's do this. Let's put down, let me pause the game. This is kind of an inroad, but it's I can have it like as a 2-way. So let's put, this is the in route. This is where trucks go out. So I'm going to do something kind of like this, maybe? It's going to kind of interrupt traffic, but the trucks that are coming in from the lumberyard will come in to deliver their goods. My hope is that they'll take this road back home and not clog up the road in front of the carpentry center. Okay? So let's go ahead and go to the warehouse. Let's take a look at how does this incoming and outgoing thing work. So we have 3 incoming products here. Can I do all auto? You have 5 incoming slots maximum, or can I change this? Could do it manually. This is my outgoing products. We have Shepherdsville 20 tiles, Carpentry Center 3, 2, 4, and 1. That's right. That part is correct. We want wood to be going to our carpentry centers. That makes sense. Now, the carpentry centers are returning the goods. The problem is that We don't have any. Yeah, it's just we're gonna run out of space here with I guess how many slots we have. This is where we can set up destinations. So does the incoming and outgoing, is this automatic? Do maybe the carpentry centers get their own stuff and we don't have to manage it? Let me put all auto for just a moment here. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit confused here. I for some reason thought we had a bunch of lumber yards. We only have one lumber yard. This is all right. So in theory, right now, the warehouse is pulling everything from everywhere. It's pulling goods from the carpentry center, and it should be pulling lumberyard goods. Now, the outgoing part, see how we don't have a destination set here? I'm guessing that this means that the carpentry centers are sending their own trucks to pick goods up. I have no idea. So this is going to go here, and we're going to have our first supply of wood. Now, you're leaving. You're from the carpentry center to the warehouse. Okay, so the carpentry center is actually sending its own truck to come pick up the goods it needs from the warehouse. Awesome. So we don't have to really mess with too much. It's going to both come get what it needs and go deliver the goods. Now, I do want to set a destination, of course, for the final product here, which is, I lost it, it's at the bottom, wooden planks over into Shepherdsville, right? That's pretty much our main destination. So that makes sense to me so far. Okay, so there goes one of our first trucks. Now, did I see how much that cost at all? Was I able to catch that? I don't think so. Let me wait for a second and see once we, okay, so it's 1K. It's 1K to actually get a vehicle from here to here is what it looks like. I think they charge you up front based on a tile cost. Was it 1K? That seems rather expensive. How much did it cost to get a truck from the oil drill into town here? 1.47K. All right, so that doesn't seem like much of a difference. Is it that much? I think it's going to be the same price. You're using the same type of truck either way. All right, we'll leave that alone for a minute. I don't want to get too wrapped up in it. We just unlocked the wheat field, which is grand, great, and splendiferous. We also have full storage at this area, at the smelters. So I could do the same principle down here for the brickworks, right? So the water and the sand would be delivered to the warehouse. The glassworks would come pull their own goods. They'll get their own stuff and then deliver it back out to themselves, and then we could deliver the final product into town. Do we want to do that? We're using 2 sand every 15 days. They're producing 3 sand, so maybe we'll wait a bit on the bricks, mostly because the bricks didn't quite give us as nice of a profit. So let's head over to Effie. I've kind of left Effie alone for a bit. All we're doing in Effie, by the way, is just coal. This is us. Now, we have the option of adding another harvester. How much coal are we supplying here? We are supplying 3 every 10 days. They want 10 every 15 days. So we could go ahead and add in, let's see, 5 every 10 days. They want, how much again? They want 10 every 15 days. So that should be fine. We should always be able to keep that demand up. So I will go ahead and add in even more harvesters here. Where's that last little bat? There it is. Okay, so that's going to be more money. I got to be a little careful about how much money I'm taking out here. I do want to be cautious that I don't go too crazy. Now, we also researched the crop farm. Did we research vegetables at some point? I'm pretty sure we did. I just have not been able to get back to it. Right, so we know how to make vegetables and zuppa. So if we go to Effie, we can see that Effie, they're all huge fans of Olive Garden, and they all want zuppa Toscana. So we are going to make a preservation factory to deliver unto them delicious, delicious gallons of soup in bags. We're going to do bagged soup. We're going to take a page from our Canadian friends and deliver unto you bagged soup. So I think right here is fine. We're going to, well, hang on a minute. We already do have a water siphon in place. That's not doing anything. So I'll tell you what, instead of doubling up and building yet another water siphon, let's go ahead and save some money. Use the existing water siphon, and we will go ahead and put down a crop farm here. We want to leave enough room for the actual crops. We'll put it right up against this hill. So there, and there. Give it a little bit of a road here. Perfect. And then we'll put down, we'll put down a preservation factory just outside of town. Oh, look at how that lines up. It's meant to be, you guys. Okay. So then we're going to do this. We're going to say, water, I choose you to deliver unto my crop farm. Turn you back on. Let's also choose vegetables as our actual crop here. And the vegetables are going to be delivered to the preservation factory. Got it. And then let's also go ahead and choose to deliver all of our final goods here to the grocery store in Effie. So there we go. That should be a pretty simple production chain. Water going to the farm growing vegetables with that water, vegetables going to be made into soup. Oh, sorry, we also need water here too. So I will have to add the destination of water to our factory here, preservation factory. Cool. I'm excited. That works out for me. Let's do a little bit of money management. Let's go back to the budget. I mean, we are going to have to wait a minute because I did make a bunch of changes, and we're going to have to wait for that inertia, so to speak, to take effect. We also have land grab under, I guess, activity right now, or it's active right now. So there is a cheaper permit cost if people want to get land. So we don't work. We just are. I mean, we're kind of using that already, right? Because we're buying some of the buildings. Alrighty. So, in the big bad book of budgets, well, this is going to be hard to get a feel for because I just went crazy building a bunch of stuff. So I think I'm going to have to wait till I get out of my expenditures to really get a feel for it. We can watch the mini budget to see how much we're making last month compared to this month. So we did make a bit of a profit last month. That is 100,000 almost. So I guess we'll just hang out. What day is it? What year is it? There we go. We made 108,000 last month as well. And I mean, every month we're in the green. Remember, we are actually paying off our loan. So we will have eventually less money overall to pay back, or we'll just pay off the loan in due course. But I'd rather get it off first because that's a really painful interest rate. 25% is brutal. So let's keep focusing on getting the money down. Although I think for this point, it's kind of a wait and see situation. We're gonna have to wait for things to sail. Yes, indeed, for things to sail away at market prices. Okay, so a quick update. I'm gonna go ahead and try to grab the truck depot because number one, I just want to see what it does. I'm thinking here. I was looking at when we're looking at the distribution options in the warehouse. One of the options says hold product until transport capacity is full. Now, from what I'm understanding here, we look at some of these full trucks. I think these trucks can only hold 1 unit of your good, right? So you're only hauling 1 unit per truck. So if what I'm assuming here is that the truck cost is a bit reduced when you use the truck depot, but it's going to carry more. That would make a bit more sense to me. So maybe we'll try to do a truck depot down here by oil and see if we can't recoup some of those painful expenses of the last couple of months. Now, we are in the green here. We're making a steady profit of about 200K every month. If I remove all this extra stuff here, you'll see that our profit is actually sitting at about 750,000, and we're spending about 338. So we are doing pretty. Now this isn't per month, is it? I don't want to get all my numbers wrong here. Oh, we actually are making that. That's all per month. This is how much income we're having per month. So this is actually really, really strong. Now, if we go to our production overview, we will probably see from last month here that, oh wait, what was that pollution thing? I didn't quite catch that. I probably should read about the pollution tooltip. Yep, there we go. There's actually, there's our soup industry taking off, 260% profit margin. So we have made, let's see, price sold. Is this what I want to look at? We've made 23,000 off that last month, which is great. 27,000 off wooden planks last month. This is basically what you're selling versus what your what your production cost is, what you're selling it for, and that's the total, right? Here's our profit. Does it actually tell me what I sold it for? Produced amount, profit, price sold. So 27 times 10, I'm guessing, is this part here, right? So 270,000, or maybe that is the profit right there. That's 289, and then that's the profit margin, meaning your profit minus all the expenses it took to make the good. So our tier 1 stuff is supreme. Now, the bricks aren't quite as great, and that might be because of all the distribution. Hang on, you're actually... The production cost is lower. The wooden planks are cheaper per unit. What's going on with bricks then? How come everything is so crazy? Everything in bricks should be cheaper. And it seems like the demand for bricks should be higher. So why aren't we quite making as much money here? Maybe the demand percentage inside the town itself is different. Let's go into the town and go into construction goods. So the demand for bricks is at 125% compared to 150. That makes a little bit more sense. So I think they're just paying a little bit less per unit for bricks than they are paying for wooden planks. Did I miss that part? 27K. Oh, here it is right here. I'm sorry. We're about 10K cheaper on bricks. So it's making a decent profit. It's just not quite making as much. So really, I should feel comfortable in maybe upping the amount of bricks that we're producing, but for the moment, I want to stop spending so we can try to kill the proverbial axe over our head in terms of our fancy bankruptcy loan. Uh-oh. That just popped up out of nowhere. So now that you're settled in, we need to talk about paying back the money that got you started at the start of the game. Does this mean we're going to have to start paying back our big bad loan here? Because that's going to make me sad. It's a no-interest loan with very low payments that needs to be paid off. Low payments, my butt. Okay, so maybe at the end of this year... Oh, it is year 3. So maybe we're actually going to pay a little bit more in loans next month, which is going to hurt because that's going to basically be another $80,000 that we take out of our profits. Okay, so sure enough, the loan officer came by, threatened me with thumb breaking, and we are paying an additional $80,000 a month for that first loan. So boo on that, but I mean, it was coming up. I didn't know when it was started, so maybe having something here that would say, hey, the starter loan starts after year 3, and honestly, it probably did show up as a pop-up, and I honestly just missed it. So we did research the truck depot. I'll tell you what I might do, actually. Let's go ahead and not research anything. Let's hold back a bit, because if you're not researching anything, I'm pretty sure you do not pay an R&D cost. Maybe you do. Let's see, can I put this down to 0? Oh, I actually have to actively choose a 0 monthly R&D. Let's do 0 monthly R&D for just a bit, because I'd like to really focus on turning a profit, and as long as we can, or as soon as we can get rid of our original bankruptcy loan, that's another extra $100,000 in our pockets every month. Then I'll feel a little bit more comfortable moving to a different city, although we could even think about getting, even though I'm talking about paying off one loan, you can get another loan to pay off your first loan. So we've got loans cheaper in terms of interest. So maybe it would be smarter to kind of refinance in a way. You're not really refinancing, but you're taking a larger loan to pay off a higher interest previous loan. Now, I can't tell what the payment amounts are going to be, but this is going to be 10%, 36 months. Math is hard, but I mean, I feel like maybe just getting a $5 million loan and paying off our existing one wouldn't be too bad. Okay, so actually, if we do click on the loan, it gives us one more option before it actually would activate the loan. So this is telling us we could change the loan length and the amount, and we'll be able to see what the monthly cost is. So at 5 million, because we're paying 20 some odd, what are we paying right now? We're paying 25% interest on a $5 million loan. Right? Yeah, 25 million interest. Although we only have 3.92, I mean, it's still, that's extra interest we're wasting. So if I get a $5 million loan, and again, that was $100,000. So what can we take to get at roughly a $100,000 payment? A 12.5% interest, 5 million, 48 months, a little bit more payment, but a lot less interest. I'm going to go ahead and take the Lone Oak settlement loan, pay off my bankruptcy loan, and then we're just going to hold out and wait for that little extra bit. Wow, did we make a ton beforehand? We're actually really close to that $5 million mark. So this should help out a little bit, and then once we pay off our Lone Oak loan, we should be in better shape because we don't have quite as much interest. In fact, we're almost there already. So we had a really great month. We had a profit of $145,000 last month, and we're over the $5 million mark where we could pay back our Lone Oak settlement loan. So we could do that right now, and I think I probably will. I do want to wait probably a couple more payments just to make sure I have a bit more over $5 million because I don't want to immediately go back into my emergency bankruptcy loan. I'm getting a lot of warnings about full storage here. So I also think I'm going to save up enough money to put down yet another glasswork and smelter and a warehouse. Now, by the way, the cool thing about the warehouse, as far as I can tell, there is no extra cost to have the warehouse. So, for example, much like you'd have an upkeep cost at a factory, You've got a building upkeep here. There is no upkeep for the warehouse. Now, you are still getting charged for how many trucks are being sent. Let's see, that's 14K last month for 14 trucks. About 1 point some odd per truck, right? So the gas produced 12 last month, and can I tell what my dispatch cost was? 13K. So it's pretty much the same, it looks like, whether you're using a warehouse or a actual, like, right from the factory. And honestly, the tiles are about even if you think about how far, where they have to turn and stuff like that. In fact, I could probably shave a little bit of money off just by doing that. That irks me so bad that it doesn't line up. That's okay, though. That's okay. So, yeah, using your warehouse is really, really useful when you're starting to get over the amount of, I guess, destination slots for whatever your building is, whatever your production is. So if you have a factory with only 3 destination slots here, that means you'll probably want to put down a warehouse and let everyone pull from it. Now, we are going to start getting into a situation where traffic is going to become an issue. Is this traffic just from vehicles? Holy crap, that's amazing. I didn't even know that was possible. I wonder how bad, like, what does this do for you overall? Is there like penalties from the state because you're just nasty and dirty? I have no idea. All right, well, that is where we want to be in terms of money. I will go ahead and pay off our settlement loan that we just took. Now, we are, of course, only at $590,000. I'm going to let that go up probably between this episode and next. That way, next time around, we've got lots of money to play with, and we can immediately go back into Glassworks and Smelter. Let's take a look at our overall budget. How's that been looking? That was a huge expense, of course. That's going to skew everything because we just paid back that loan. Although I think, this is where we got a bunch of money skewed in. What about the mini budget? This is probably the better one to look at. We're taking in $256,000 a month, which is great. If we look over at our production and buildings overview, we have profit margins of, wait, why are you last month? There we go. 64% on coal. Why is gas so not great? We must be driving down the demand for gas. No, 142%. That's kind of really weird. Is traffic starting to cause an issue in terms of delivery? That could be a thing. I'm not entirely sure. This month for gas, we're 7% under profit margin. I mean, we really don't want to have gas going if it's only going to make us a 1% profit. I wish you could see, it would kind of be nice to see like a long-term graph of one good. Can I specifically look at total sales of raw resources? Can I do this at all? Oh wow, I actually can. Hang on. Let's go down to gas in if we can go down to gas in Shepherdsville. What am I don't see anything on here. This should be showing a graph of something, right? Or is this only showing me information like this? So the demand was 66. We supplied 36. Produced, demanded, stored, supplied. Is it just that a lot of our trucks are still in transit? That must be the case. I can't think of anything else that's causing the problem here. We'll look into it a little bit more. Maybe a lot of our trucks are stuck on the road, although I don't think at this point there's any way to speed this process up. Because, I mean, they're going straight from the gas right out to our town. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of Rise of Industry. I will catch you here again very, very soon. Until then, my friends, please do take care of yourself.